Hey guys, Atreyu is back. I do hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing 3 different ways that you can combine your locks. There is a caveat though. For one of these ways, if you wait too long, it will no longer work. Let's get to it. Atreyu is back, yeah. Atreyu is back, yeah. Atreyu is back, yeah. Atreyu. So, combining locks. Why would you want to combine your locks? Well, people combine their locks for many different reasons. One reason is that they just want thicker dreadlocks. Another reason that people combine their locks is because they find that maybe your lock or 2 or more are getting thinner, and so they believe that by combining their locks together, it will get thicker and save their locks. Let me just say though with that one, that if your lock is thinning because you have fewer hairs at the level of the scalp, then combining it is not necessarily going to help, because that's just going to add more weight to those fewer hairs at your scalp, and it could exacerbate the problem, so be careful. Another reason that people might want to combine their locks, and I'm definitely guilty of this, is maybe when they were doing their retwist, they didn't get the parts exactly the way they once were, and so 2 locks actually started to combine. Now you may hear, okay, it's combined, so what do you mean you need to combine them? Well, when it unintentionally combined, everything below that level is now still separate. And we know this as double-headed dragon or 2-headed dragon, right? And so I've had to go in and combine a couple of 2-headed dragons I've had. Now, as I said, there are 3 main ways that I know that you can combine your locks. The first way is when you're doing maintenance, when you're doing your retwist. If you want to combine locks, you can just take 2 locks, like so, put them together, and then retwist both of these together like that. You know, when you do your retwist, just retwist both sections together, and it will end up combined as your hair grows out. Another way that you can combine your locks during a retwist is you could take 1 lock and then feed it through the new growth of another lock. Pull it through like that, and then as those locks grow out, they will also grow out combined. Essentially, those 2 bases have merged together to form one bigger base. So those are 2 similar ways that you can combine your locks, and you can do them during a retwist. The second way that you can combine your locks is doing a 2-strand twist on the double-headed dragons, each of those locks, and then finishing it off with a rubber band. Let me demonstrate. Okay, so I have a lock with the double-headed dragon, and I'm just gonna do this as if though I was putting 2-strand twists in my hair. I have essentially 2 strands, 2 locks, and I'm just gonna twist them around each other. Now, the best way to do this is to rotate the locks away from each other. So I'm rotating this one. I'm gonna exaggerate it so you can see it. I'm rotating this one that way. Allow me to demonstrate the motion of the 2-strand twist. So you have a lock, and I'm going to exaggerate it, okay? So you can just twist them, but you're doing more than twisting them really. So and I'm going to exaggerate this so you can see, rotate that up while rotating this one like that. Rotate. So your hands are kind of going in opposite directions. Rotate. See how this one's going down like that to rotate it, and that one's going up like that to rotate it? You're basically rotating them away from each other. And that goes that way, that goes that way. Rotate that way, rotate that way. Rotate that way, rotate that way. Rotate that way, rotate that way. And before you know it, it's understood, you know what you're doing. You're doing it almost on a subconscious level, and yeah. And that's how you do a 2-strand twist. So you're gonna use this. Wow, that looks kind of cool. I just noticed all the fresh retwisted. I mean, it's not fresh, it's over a month, right? But you could just, as I was looking at this, I noticed all that shiny part, and I'm like, wow, that was a result of my last retwist. So just something kind of cool to notice. Anyway, so yeah, this is what you're gonna do to twist those two-headed dragons or double-headed dragons. So rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, and see how nice and tight the coil is. Rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate, twist. And basically you do that until you're satisfied, till you can't rotate, twist anymore. And then grab a rubber band and put it on the end. You put it as low or high as you want. You can put it on as tight as you want. I try not to put it too tight because I'm not trying to cut off the bottom of these locks, right? But eventually this will lock up to one lock. Now, some people might be put off by this, but I actually kind of like it because I think it just looks really cool. Now let me say that this method out of all of them takes the longest time for the locks to combine, but I don't mind because I actually really like the look of this twist kind of intermingled with the other locks. Okay, so that's how you combine your locks using the rubber band method, and that's like for two-headed dragons, as you see, right? But say you wanted to get some wicks, you want to combine a whole bunch of locks. You can just grab a section of locks like that and put rubber bands at the various lengths of these locks, and you would end up eventually with huge wicks. So yeah, rubber bands are very useful for combining locks. It takes a while for the locks to actually combine. There's a quicker way, which I'm going to get to next, but definitely works if you're not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. The third way that you can combine your locks that I'm going to talk about in this video is with a crochet hook. No, I'm not talking about this size crochet hook where you actually see people crocheting yarn with. I actually crochet. Check out my Atreyu crochet channel if you want to know how to crochet. Just a shameless plug. So no, not this size. This is like a size I, 5.5 millimeters. I'm talking about something like this size, okay? And I've made a video showing you how to do this, but I'm going to just point you guys to Kris McDred. He's like the king of Insta-locks, in my opinion, and he demonstrates very well how to combine your locks using a very small crochet hook. This one is 0.75 millimeters, just to compare. So not this, use this with yarn, right? This is bigger, but something like this. See how much, see the size, notice the size differences between these two? Okay, check out Kris McDred. I'll leave a link in the description. In the spirit of being thorough, I will mention a fourth way that you can combine your locks, and that is with needle and thread. So basically you just use some thread, thread your needle, tie a knot on the end, and then you would take whatever two locks you wanted to combine, put them side by side and go through. Or you could maybe twist them, two-strand twist them, if you want to kind of try to kick off that cylindrical spiral look, and then, you know, go through them in and out, weaving the yarn through the locks to get them to combine. I know that a lot of veteran lockers who have been in the game much longer than me, this was one of their main go-to methods. I've never tried it, I've never needed to use it, but I know a lot of them swear by it. I just never really got used to the idea of having like thread in my hair, so it was never that appealing, but you know, to each his or her own. Okay, so these are three, technically four since I gave you a bonus, ways to combine your locks. You have the method that doesn't involve any other tool, which is just retwisting the bases together, or maybe throwing one lock through the base of the other and let it combine naturally with time. You have the rubber band method, which involves doing a 2-strand twist on those double-headed dragons and then putting the rubber band on it. Or like I said, if you want to get wicks, you can grab huge sections and place rubber bands along the length of the locks to keep them all combined and keep them all nice and neat together as they combine with one another over time. The third way is the crochet hook method. Remember, you want to get a 0.75 millimeter or smaller. If you can find smaller is always better in this case, hook to combine your locks. And finally, the bonus one, it's somewhat, in my opinion, of an antiquated technique, but hey, if it works, it works, is the thread and needle method to combine your locks. So in the very beginning of the video, I mentioned that there was a caveat, a catch to one of these methods. I said that it would no longer work if you waited too long. Can you guess which method won't work if you wait too long? That's right, the crochet hook method. So let me show you what I mean. So here's some locks that are now over 5 years old. And I said that the crochet hook method will no longer work. The reason this is the case is because these are so compact. The hairs are so tight in here that the locks are actually kind of hard. They're kind of stiff. And you can't even get this needle, as small as it is, you can't really get it in there, one, without doing damage. Also, something else you might be able to see is that there's not much frizz at all on these locks. It's because it's all so compacted into the lock. These are mature locks, okay? So with no frizz, with stiff locks that are so tightly compacted, you can't get a crochet hook first in there to grab hairs to pull out without doing damage to your locks. And you don't even have any frizz on the outside to help with the matting process. So if you wait too long, this method will not work. In the videos that I've seen on Kris McDred's channel, you notice that they either have a looser texture or the lock is not completely mature. And a good way to tell is if there is still some squishiness, some give in the lock, they're not completely hard, then yeah, this works well. But once the locks are fully mature and that hair is tightly compact, you really can't feasibly use this without doing damage. Hope this video has been helpful. Let me know what other content you may be interested in seeing. In the meantime, as always, please learn to love unconditionally, because loving with conditions the heart to not really love at all. Atreyu is out.